Hello, everybody. Russian Batman here. Today, I got a new custom showcase. Yeah, this one it's kind of more like an updated showcase where these are all old figures that I have just recently decided to revamp, right? Because I think that is very cool. Now, this is a SpongeBob showcase. I'm just gonna show off all the SpongeBob characters I have made and all the ones that I have recently revamped. So, in order of least to most modified, let's go. So this one, I've already showed off this Patrick before. He's pretty cool. Nothing much to say about him. It's just made obviously to be pink and not the flesh tone Lego originally chose. And I think if they ever do bring back SpongeBob, they'll definitely do this because it just fits way better. And yeah, his pants are painted, dual molded. Well, made to look dual molded. I believe this pants. No, it wasn't dual molded. But yeah, and I've repainted him a few times because I didn't have an accurate pink, and now the pink, I'm able to make a more accurate pink, and it just looks really nice. I just like having an accurate Patrick. It just looks cool. But nothing really new about him for this video, unfortunately. Next up, I'm trying to say, is Doodle Bob. I've had this custom for a while, and surprisingly, he stood the test of time. Not a lot of my customs, old customs, really look good nowadays. This guy has not been modified much except for some black outlines, just the ones around his head. Most of my old customs don't look that good nowadays. This one does because, I mean, Doodle Bob is supposed to look kind of crappy. Well, my painting skills weren't good back then, but it works for Doodle Bob. I also really like, I don't remember when I got this idea to use, but I painted little silver dots. So you can see in the light kind of, not changes, well, sort of, but you see these light gray silver dots. I think that looks really good. I don't know how I came up with that back then, because just thinking about it now, that's kind of genius. Not to toot my own horn. Actually, I am tooting my own horn. As you can see here, he has black lines to represent his arms on the side of his arms. It doesn't look that great from the front because you can't really see the black lines for his arms, but the sides you can. I kept his hands white because in the show, his hands aren't like stick hands. They're kind of bubbly, if that makes sense. So the majority of his white and not these like black stick lines. And like I said, everything else is the same. I just kind of gave it a finish of Mod Podge to kind of seal it all together. But it's essentially, like I said, just uses the SpongeBob torso, and it works. It just works. I like this Doodle Bob. Next up, we got here, who do I want to show off first? All right, now we get into the figures that have been kind of revamped more significantly. This is my Mr. Krabs. This is another one I am just, like, really satisfied with. First of all, the claws. I decided to give him claws. I didn't not know how good it would look, but I actually think it really works in minifig form. I mean, minifigure hands already sort of look like claws, so all I really had to do is extend one of the parts of the hands, and then now they look like crab claws. I also did paint the bottom of his feet red because his feet are exposed. It does look a little bit weird because his feet obviously don't look like this. They're little tiny feet. So maybe it might have looked a little bit better just to keep the entire thing purple, but I decided to do that. Also, there's another thing about this guy. I kept the pants purple. I've had it purple before. Originally, Lego did dark blue. I think purple just kind of looks, just generally speaking, looks a little bit better. So that's what I did, and I just kept it that way. I debated changing it back to the blue, but I kept it purple. I also added some more outlines. His face has been revamped a little bit. I made the, what's it called? The lime green go all the way around. Originally, it was just on the front. But then looking at more reference images, I realized his eyeball is kind of like, his anatomy makes no sense. But his eyeball kind of goes all the way around. So he has eyeball on the back of his eyeball. Don't think about that too much. But, ooh, I should have given him his, like, Krusty Krabs, like, Dumpy. Also, he has a 3D nose. Like I said, it's not zigzaggy, so maybe. Not super accurate, but I just died there. But yeah, I'm still really happy with how he looks. Now, unfortunately, like I said, he can't really hold money. I think he still can hold things. I'm not going to risk it because I don't want these things accidentally breaking off his hands. But there you go for my Mr. Krabs. Okay, if I do that voice, I'm going to like cough a lung out because, oh my God, I can't talk. All right. Final two figures we have here. Who do I want to show off first? I want to show off Sandy. This one is one I've had, and this has been probably, I want to say maybe the most modified out of all of them, except for SpongeBob, who I'm going to show off last. But Sandy, I did a lot of molding for because I gave her this new tail. Now, I don't remember if I originally had, if my Sandy custom originally had a tail. However, when I was looking at my custom recently, it didn't. Now, maybe in my old video, I did have a tail piece for it. I probably just used the Rocket Raccoon tail. However, it just didn't have it when I looked at it nowadays. Maybe it did back then. I don't know. But I decided to give her a new tail piece. I debated on using the old piece, but how this works, it's just directly attached to this skirt piece she uses. So, ooh, my God. So you see here. So it's just a normal skirt piece, and it's just molded directly on top of that. So when you put it on there, it kind of gives it the illusion it's attached to the body, which I really like how that looks. The color matching, I'm going to admit, is not great. I do not have a good color for this color, but yeah. I also did repaint the face, the torso, everything. I made the head a more accurate, at least this skin tone, a more accurate color to the hands I used. This is like, how do I describe this tone? It's like off flesh, if that makes sense. Where like here, this is like normal flesh tone, right? Sees more like this is more yellow in this one and less red, if that makes sense, right? So I use that flesh tone because it's just the most accurate to the show. But the head wasn't super accurate to it, so I repainted that. So it looks a lot cleaner, a lot better. The face hasn't been modified a ton. The expression is somewhat the same, however, it has just one kind of cheek exposed. And I try to do that with a lot of these designs. I try to think of them more as 2D designs and less as 3D designs, if that makes sense. In the original Lego character designs, they seem like they're meant to be looked straight on, right? Where it's like symmetrical. I try to not make these designs symmetrical. And you'll see that when it comes to SpongeBob, the last figure. And the figure I'm probably most proud of, well, maybe Sandy I'm a little bit more proud of, but I really like this SpongeBob. And here you go. And like I said, the big thing I did is modify the heck out of the face design. So as you can see here, there's some stuff from the original, mostly being, you see here that this cheek is there, but it's not on the other side. Now I did that because, well, if you look at a lot of his designs, that's what it looks like. He doesn't have, his face isn't symmetrical at all times. It's sort of like meant to be looked at like an angle, or I don't know. But I kind of kept that philosophy in check. Also, I separated his teeth a little bit. I made his tongue a little bit different. I modified the shape of his mouth, so it didn't go all the way that way. It's like off to the side a bit. But yeah, I'm really happy with how that looks. Now, everything else is essentially the same. Dual molded arms. Oh, I did also add this green outlining to him. You can see here, originally his spots, his little sponge holes, that sounded so wrong, were originally in an orange color. However, I changed it to this kind of nasty green. I don't know what to call it, the swamp green. Because, well, in this show, that's kind of just how how the yellow is generally outlined, with this weird green. So that's what I did throughout the entire thing, is I also outlined it with this green. And honestly, I really like how it looks. Also, I gave him this chef hat. Originally, I had it as a build, but now it's a custom molded piece I made. So you can look around. You can also, actually, I'm gonna try. Can you put on Patrick? Hold up. Won't fit on Patrick, but you like, do that. But yeah, so SpongeBob hat. And his legs, I decided to include his socks this time. Originally, I didn't have his socks in there because it's really hard to fit all his design into a short minifig. because short minifigs, I mean, they have only so much leg space to work with, and SpongeBob's legs are very proportionally long compared to his body, although he's overall short. It doesn't make much sense, but there you go. All right. But that's really it for today. If y'all like this SpongeBob showcase, sorry I'm coughing. I think I explained in the last video, but I'm a little bit under the weather, and I just want to record these videos. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your day. Go watch the 2011 film Rango. Join our Discord server, and yeah, have a nice one. Yeah.